When I reviewed SummerSlam 2019, a lot of you guys in the comments recommended and wanted to see me review SummerSlam 2002, and boy oh boy, I'm happy you guys did, because this is a show which I've seen a few times. I'd say 2 or 3. It's a show which you can easily go back and watch. If you haven't seen SummerSlam 2002, it's one of the main pay-per-views I recommend you go to the WWE Network and check out right now, well, after this video. The show itself is just kind of like a pleasure to sit through. It's so easy to watch. It's what a truly great wrestling pay-per-view looks like. It's not one of these shows like a Monday Night Raw, which people say is a really good show, and you think to yourself, how have your standards fallen so far, okay? This SummerSlam 2002 pay-per-view and everything that encompasses it is the benchmark of what a great wrestling show looks like. Be that the main event, Rock vs. Brock for the WWE Championship. The next big thing, Brock Lesnar taking on The Rock. That was just awesome, a fantastic main event. Be that the co-main event, which I dare say was even better. Well, it was better. Shawn Michaels in his first match back in 4.5 years versus Triple H, unsanctioned. Just awesome stuff. The undercard was stacked. This whole show, just top to bottom, was amazing to watch. Even something like Undertaker vs. Test or the tag team title match, both were really entertaining to watch. So, yeah, this show, if you haven't seen it, I couldn't recommend it more. And also just the time period it was in. Like, I dare say, the second half of 2002, it's up there for the best 6-month stretch in WWE history. Like the second half of 2002, because it featured SummerSlam 2002, Survivor Series 2002, 2 god-tier WWE shows, No Mercy 2002 was really damn good. Like, a bunch of this stuff they were doing at the time is really good. So, without further ado, let's get into this. The Rock vs. Brock, the next big thing had arrived. This whole thing, people at the time were apparently saying how Brock Lesnar was kind of all hype, and they didn't know whether they pulled the trigger on him. The Rock, obviously, people were thinking he transitioned out of WWE and into Hollywood. People were getting that vibe because he did the movie around this time period. So you get to this match, the main event, the fans, they're booing The Rock, which will later lead to his heel run. The fans booing The Rock was kind of funny. Like, I found it kind of funny. They were cheering Brock Lesnar, and in the end, Brock Lesnar defeated The Rock. The match went like 15 minutes. It was a really fun match. Like, I really enjoyed the match. These two guys that went out there and just put on a really good match for their capability. Obviously, it's not going to be some technical work rate classic, but this is Rock versus Brock. Like, what do you expect it to be? It was what it was. For what it was awesome. It was really good. So they passed the torch. Brock Lesnar won the WWE Undisputed Championship, and then he went on to have an awesome reign against, like, having matches against guys like Kurt Angle, The Undertaker, and all that. So that was the main event. Then there was the unsanctioned match. This thing, oh boy, the unsanctioned match. To me, this match really showcases the greatness of Shawn Michaels. That's the main thing I took out of this, because for Shawn to not wrestle a legitimate match in 4.5 years and come back on the grand stage of SummerSlam against Triple H in a fantastic storyline and go out there for 30 minutes and have an all-time classic, this match is just phenomenal. If you haven't seen this match between Shawn Michaels and Triple H, SummerSlam 2002 unsanctioned, go and watch it. It's one of the best matches in WWE history. It's so damn good. Like, the storytelling, the way Triple H dominates the match. Shawn Michaels has his comeback as he's like got blood all over him. He's wearing the jeans. It's a real street fight feel from Shawn Michaels especially. It's just awesome. It feels like he's fighting for his life. The table spot they have, the stuff with the trash can gets involved. The belt. It's just an awesome match. It's just a phenomenal match. This match, it really showed me how great Shawn Michaels is. For him to come back after 4.5 years out of the ring and put on a match like this. Like, I dare say, you can probably count on one hand the amount of people who would have a match this good as is, but let alone for Shawn Michaels to do this after 4.5 years on the sideline. So much respect to Shawn for this. This was when these two guys really were at the height of their powers. Like, Shawn Michaels, as an in-ring guy, his whole career was phenomenal, but really, this Shawn Michaels here, 2002 upon his comeback, 2003, the stuff with Jericho, the stuff with Triple H, just phenomenal. Shawn Michaels is an all-time great. Triple H was doing some of his best work. This is a match which, if you haven't seen, I just implore you, go out and watch this match. Seriously, go out and watch this match. You won't regret it. You really won't. So, those were the two main events. These matches, more than delivered. They were both phenomenal. As for the rest of the show, boy oh boy, the undercard of this show was better than near enough every pay-per-view I can recall in recent memory, okay? We opened the show, Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio. What's the word? Certified Hall of Famers, like first ballot Hall of Famers. These two guys, Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio, went out there and just had this fun, fast-paced, 10-minute just battle. It was really entertaining stuff. The crowd was hot, the crowd was gassed, the crowd was excited. This was the perfect match to open the show. Kurt Angle can have a great match with anyone. Rey Mysterio is much the same. These two guys, it just goes to show the talent pool in 2002. Like the roster in 2002. It was so great that they had to split the roster. It's not like nowadays with the brand split where you look at Monday Night Raw and Raw has Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, and Seth Rollins, and SmackDown has Otis, Braun Strowman, and I don't bloody know, Baron Corbin. Like that's the brand split nowadays. Back in 2002, the top picks in the brand split was Undertaker, the NWO was a whole pick, Austin, The Rock, just Triple H, Michaels. It was such an awesome time to be a fan back then. And those of you who were a fan back then, I really wish I was a fan back then, because going back and watching all this stuff back is just awesome. So that's the whole thing with the brand split and whatnot. Speaking of matches which showcase the talent pool of the show and the talent pool of WWE, Ric Flair and Chris Jericho went on second on this show. They were having a match based off like Ric Flair, destroying a Jericho concert and whatnot. This was just great. Ric Flair won via submission, and Jericho looked good in defeat. Like all of these matches, they were really good. And this is another one. Edge and Eddie Guerrero, these two guys, I remember the match they had on SmackDown in, I believe, September? The No DQ match, or was it October? They had a match on SmackDown that was better than this one, but this one, on the grand stage of SummerSlam, these two guys put on a show, Edge and Eddie Guerrero. At the time, both guys, you knew they had plenty of potential, and of course, Eddie went on to be a WWE champion, Edge went on to be, like a 9-10-time world champion. Both of them went on to have great careers. This match, you could just see the seeds planted for the careers they would have. It's a really good, fun undercard match, and there's more talent in this undercard match than there is nowadays in WWE, I feel like. So, that was that. And then, in totality, that was basically the show. We had Benoit versus RVD for the Intercontinental Championship. We had Undertaker beating Test. We had an Un-Americans tag team match where the Un-Americans, what did they do? They successfully defended the titles, Christian and Lance Storm against Booker T and Goldust. Like, such a damn good show. Like, from top to bottom, really good stuff. If you haven't seen SummerSlam 2002, I implore you to go watch it. Like, it's just so great. Everything this pay-per-view represents, it represents a time period where wrestling was larger than life. They had big characters. There was a stacked roster. Everyone was interesting. They were fighting for, supremacy. Raw versus SmackDown. There was legitimacy. The Ruthless Aggression era was really picking up. They'd moved out of the Attitude Era. Just an awesome time to be a wrestling fan. I wish I was a fan back then, but oh well, what can you do? So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and sub. Leave down below what you think of SummerSlam 2002. See ya.